Good morning, students. Now today we are going to start our third chapter, okay, motion in a straight line. And in our previous chapter I have just been given you the homework that you have to be solved to numericals. So I hope that you have solved that numericals. Now in the motion in a straight line, this is your third chapter and we are going to be start this lecture today, and this is your first lecture of this chapter. Clear? Now in this chapter further I am just explaining you the basic things which you have already studied in your 9th standard. What is distance, displacement, then speed, velocity, acceleration. After completing the basic things of this chapter, we are going to be not taking this chapter ahead for a 2 or 3 lecture, because I am going to be explain you the topics which is related to this chapter, which is not be written in the syllabus, but that was a part of your syllabus. So before studying ahead in this chapter what is the kinematic equations and all, we have to be, before that we have to be understand the concept of differentiation and integration. Those who are the math student, that can easily get the chapters in their math syllabus of differentiation and integration, but those who are the bio students, that can only get the differentiation and integration in physics only. So I will just be explain you that much topic which is included in physics, not the entire thing, because the math student can easily get through the highest level of that integration differentiation in their maths syllabus, that is coming in your maths only. Okay, in physics the basic things is coming in the derivations. So I will just be tell you the basic things only, so the bio students can easily understand the things. Okay, so first we are going to discuss about theoretical portion of this chapter. Then as the before starting the kinematic equations of straight line motion, first before that I will just be giving you the knowledge of we are going to study about the differentiation and integration first. Clear? That makes the things clear, more clear for understanding the kinematic equation derivations. Clear beta? And that was a part of your syllabus only. It was not be specially mentioned in your syllabus, but it was a part in your syllabus. In the NCERT book it was not be separately mentioned. In your previous syllabus of RBC it was separately mentioned, even it was included in the syllabus. But here the portion has been taken, but it was not be explained or separately a particular point is not be given. Okay, so first of all, starting this chapter of motion in a straight line, I am just going to be give you the general introduction of motion. That I am just be telling you that what is motion beta. You know about the mechanic, a branch of physics. Okay, in the mechanics there is a branch of physics in which we are studied about the motion of the object, and there are 3 branches of mechanics in which we are able to examine the motion of the object. Okay, and first of all I will just be tell you that in the mechanics what is there, that mechanics is a branch of physics in which we study the motion of objects. Okay, and there are 3 branches of mechanics. First one is static. What is the static beta? Static, it is the branch of mechanics in which we study the objects at rest. In static, the time factor doesn't play any role. Now what is static beta? Static is a branch of a mechanics in which we are going to study about the object when it was in rest beta. Okay, when the object is in rest position, then we are able to understand what is its position. Okay, when it was rest, how the charged particles are acting on that. If the charged particles are getting any kind of a temperature, and through that temperature the charged particle which is present in the object are getting any kind of acceleration or not. So this is about the static branch of a mechanics. Okay, in this static portion, there is no any time factor can plays an important role for describing what is static. Okay, no, there is no any dependency of a time in this. So this is the first branch of mechanics. Second is your kinematics. I would like to tell you that the chapter number 3rd and 4th is a one unit which is known as kinematics. Okay, in which we are going to be discuss about the motion in a object when it's straight line and the plane. Okay, so it was a unit. 3rd and 4th chapter is a single unit, a one unit which is known as kinematics. So, but here according to your syllabus, I am explaining you in a different chapter. Okay, so in kinematics, what is kinematic beta? In kinematics, it describes the motion of objects without looking at the cause of the motion. Here time factor plays an important role. Okay, so in kinematics, what is there beta? It had just been described that what is the cause behind the motion of an object, why and how this object can do the motion, what is the cause behind its motion. And before for getting the cause of this, we have to even understand about the time also. Okay, so in kinematics, the time factor plays a very much important role, and in this chapter and the next chapter is completely depends upon the kinematics only. So you are able to understand the time factor, how the time factor plays an important role. Clear? Third one is dynamics. Dynamics. So it relates the motion of objects to the forces which cause them. The time factor also plays an important role. Okay, so in dynamatics we are going to understand that yes, the motion is there, but which force has been relate this motion, and how due to this force how this motion has been caused, what is the cause behind that, by applying the force how it was object is doing the motion. So it was depend on the to the force which caused them. Okay, the motion which is caused due to the force, so we are going to be related of which force has been caused them. And in this also the time factor plays an important role in dynamics also. Okay, so in static it was just be studied about when the object is in rest and there is no any time factor plays in any role. In kinematics it was describe the motion of the object and but without looking any cause. In this we are not be getting any looking towards the cause, that what is the cause behind that. Okay, but the time factor plays an important role. I think in previously I just be telling you that the cause of the motion has been depending. Sorry for that, there is no any cause, by mistake I just be spoke that. But in kinematics it was just described that yes, the motion of the object is there, but what is the cause behind the motion of the object, that doesn't matter. We are not be looking towards the cause of the object motion. Clear? But here the time factor plays an important role. In dynamics the motion of the object we are going to be described, but with which cause has been there behind the motion of the object, that also we have to be look forward. And in this also the time factor plays an important role. Clear? Okay, now further for understanding we are going to understand that what is rest and what is motion. I think in 9th standard also you have discussed about this rest and motion. So our next topic is rest. Right now today only we are going to be discuss the introduction portion of this chapter, and starting only theoretical portion is coming. Okay, so rest. So you know it clearly what is rest, when the object is just be not changing its position with respect to the its surrounding. That was the rest. You have studied in 9th standard also. So if the position of an, this is position, okay, if the position of an object doesn't change with respect to, this WRT means with respect to. Okay, first time I am writing this, so I will also write its full form and further you are able to understand. With respect to its surrounding with the passage of time it is said to be at rest. Okay, if you want to give an example, then you may write the example that when the person is sitting in the chair, when the person is sitting on a chair, he was in rest position. When a book is lying on the table, that will also be a rest position. Okay, so when any of the object is not changing its position with respect to its surrounding with the passage of a time also, that was, we can say that the object is in rest position. Okay, next is motion. Okay, so this is also, you know it very well beta, that if the position of an object is continuously changing with respect to its surrounding, then it is said to be in the state of motion. Okay, even we can say that the motion can also be defined that change of position of the object with time. Okay, so and if we are going to be understanding better with an example, so motion is having a many of the example, various several examples are there in our daily life. Means walking of a person, of a man, as our universe is also be rotating beta. Okay, and even we are just be in the dam also, the water has been flowing down, insect is crawling. So all these are the examples of the motion only. Okay, further we are going to be discussed about the types of motion. Even this also you have studied in your 9th standard. These all the things are coming which you have already studied in your 9th standard. Types of motion. Okay, now in the types of motion, it was depending on the various different things in your syllabus. Here we are getting the types of a motion on the basis of the nature of the path. Okay, on the basis of the nature of the path. So first thing on which we are going to be discussed, that on the basis of the nature of path followed. Okay, and in this the first type of a motion is your rectilinear motion. Rectilinear motion. Now you know it very well about rectilinear motion, that when the particle is moving along a straight line. Okay, so the motion, there is no any brief discussion in that topics. Okay, so the motion in which a particle moves along a straight line is called rectilinear motion. Okay, clear? For the next one is, if you want to give an example of this, then you may write the example that motion of a sliding body on an inclined plane. Okay, so its example is motion of a sliding body on an inclined plane. This is an example of the rectilinear motion. Okay, next, the second type of the motion based on the nature of the path is your circular motion. Circular motion. So the motion in which a particle moves in a circular path is called circular motion. Simple definition is there, and if you are going to give the example of this, then a string which is whirled in a circular top. Okay, when a string is whirled on a circular top. Loop, circular loop. Okay, clear? Now the third type, I think you get an idea that what is the third type of a motion is there. So the third type of the motion is your oscillatory motion. Oscillatory motion. Okay, and the oscillatory motion is the motion in which a particle moves to and fro about a given point is known as oscillatory motion. Okay, and the example for the oscillatory motion is, you know it very well, the simple pendulum. So here we have discussed about three types of a motion which is based on the nature of the path followed by them. Okay, so first is your rectilinear motion in which the particle is moving along the straight line. Second is circulatory motion in which the particle is moving along the circular path, and oscillatory motion in which the particle moves in a to and fro about particular given point. Even I just told you that the rectilinear motion is also known as the translatory motion. The circulatory motion is also known as rotatory motion, and oscillatory motion is also known as vibratory motion. Okay, so here today we have discussed about three types of the motion on the basis of the path followed, nature of the path followed. Now the second basis is that the number of on the basis of the number of coordinates required on the defined to the motion. Okay, for defining the motion, how many numbers of the coordinates has been used. On that basis, three types of the motions more are there, that one dimensional motion, two dimensional motion and three dimensional motion. You have know about the coordinates beta, x, y and z. Okay, so for that we are going to be discuss about this. Clear? Now in further, I will just tell you about that from the first week of your September you are having your first test. Okay, so in the first test beta, chapter number 2nd is coming. Chapter number 2nd, which I have just be taught you, that chapter number 2nd is coming in your first test. Okay, and in that beta how the pattern of the paper is there, that I am going to explain you, and even I am attached the syllabus also of first test with this my lecture. Now how the paper is coming, you know that we are just be giving you the assignment for your homework. In that we are providing you the timetable, we are providing you, okay. So according to the timetable we are providing the question paper to you in your assignment, and from that assignment you are get your question paper. Suppose the timing of the paper is from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. 1 hour paper is there. So sharply at 8 a.m. your paper is shown to you, okay, and from that you are just take your copy. 10 marks paper is there in the school as you are having when we are conducting your first test, like that. Similarly in the copy you have to take a page, and in that page first of all you have to write Vinayak Senior Secondary School first test 2021, then your name, class, subject, date, okay. Then you have to be start writing the answer. No need to write the questions, simply you may write the answers. Now as you are writing the answer beta, you have to complete your answers within 1 hour. After 1 hour you are getting extra 10 minutes. Means if your paper has been started at 8 a.m. then you are getting your submission of the paper till 9:10, okay. 1 hour for the completion of your paper and 10 minutes for attaching the image of the answer sheets. So what you have to be do, as you have completed your paper within a 1 hour, you have to click the image of the answer sheets which you have written, and that image from the gallery you have to be attached in the attachment as you are attaching the homework in the assignment, okay. So like this within 10 minutes you have to be attached that. After 1 hour and 10 minutes if you are want to attach the answer sheets, that will not be considered, okay, that will not be considered. We are just considering you as absent only. So you have to be punctual, you have to be quick, and quickly you have to be attached the answer sheet, okay. So the entire question paper is subjective, theoretical, you have to be write the theory answers. So similarly as we are conducting your test in the school, like this only we are conducting. Be clear that you have to be not getting any kind of single answer for any kind of the book. You have to be give a pure test, okay, without consulting it from the book. Even you are not getting the time that you are consulting it from the book, remember, okay. And within the time you have to be attached the answer sheets. Clear beta? So this is the introduction that how you have to be attach your answer sheets with the in the assignment, okay. So the timetable are just given to you, I think on Monday, okay, and with according to the timetable your answers you have to be start doing your preparation. I have just be told you the syllabus of your physics, as like this your subject teacher will tell you the syllabus of the different subjects. So now only you are having 10 days time, so you have to be start doing your preparation. Clear? Okay. And for today's homework you have to be write the notes. That's it. Thank you. That's all for today.